Today, I want to talk about exactly how do you validate a business idea, particularly in the B2B space, and get your first few clients. This has been super successful for me, and I don't see anyone else doing this. It's so successful that even the prospects and people that you're reaching out to will even respond and say, this is really great, super creative, and sometimes even do it for free. So let's get into that. Before we do though, why do you want to start by validating your business idea? Well, it is true that your business idea will change, right? It might go to a different market as you begin to get into the flow of your business. It might change the marketing, parts of the product. Some of it will change, and that's most likely going to happen. But how we take a business from zero to gaining compounding revenue is ensuring that we have a really good footing at the very beginning to ensure that what we are building in V1, so version 1, is actually something that someone wants to pay for right now. So how do we do this? So this is a LinkedIn strategy that I built on my own. I didn't see anyone else posting about this. And the first thing that you're going to start with is defining your ICP, your ideal client profile. This is the person who would be purchasing your product, the person who cares most about the problem that you're solving for. This is your ICP. When we defined our ICP, for me in building a sales outsourcing company, it would be heads of product or sales leaders who work with heads of product launching new products. That's the focus that I have. So my ICP was heads of product. I then found them on LinkedIn, and you add them on LinkedIn. Now, if you add them on LinkedIn, or if you have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can send them in-mails, or you just wait for them to connect with you. And once you've done that, then you send them a message. And I'll build you exactly what the message looks like. So again, find your ICP, your ideal client profile. Who is the person you want to sell to? Ultimately, you want to add them on LinkedIn and then message them. And you want to message them this message. Hey, X, this is not a sales message. For one, why is this important to note that it's not a sales message? Well, it's showing trust. It's saying, hey, before you just ignore this completely, this isn't a sales message. So it's going to pique that curiosity for them to go, okay, then what is this exactly? So, hey X, this is not a sales message. I'm doing market research. This looks awful, and I'm so sorry. I'll write it in the description, but I'm doing market research. What are you doing market research about? So I'm doing market research around X leaders who are X. So this is not a sales message. I am doing market research around X leaders, which is our ICP profile. So around product leaders who are, let's say, experiencing such problem, or who are doing the key thing that you're hoping to. Like for example, for me, I'm doing market research around product leaders who are launching new products or MVPs. Here's the next important part. Could I pay you $50 to answer 6 questions in 15 minutes? So I'm doing market research around such and such leaders doing such and such problem. Could I pay you $50 to answer 6 questions in 15 minutes? And then here's the kicker. If I go over that time, I'll pay 75 instead. Why does this work? We're saying, hey, I'll pay you for 15 minutes to answer 6 questions. So you're saying, hey, I'm going to make the best use of your time here that you're giving me. And if I go over the time, I'll pay you $75. So I have a stake in the game to ensure that this isn't like most salespeople where they're saying, do you have 20 minutes? And then it turns into an hour and a half presentation. No, I promise to keep this short and succinct because I respect your time. And then last thing is just offer to send via email. You can add something else there at the end. I think I said after the $75, I said, hey, I understand your time is much more valuable than this, but anything you can do to help me is greatly appreciated. By the way, or PS, I can send these 6 questions via email if that's more helpful for you. So again, this is really, really effective. And I've had people respond to me and say, this is super creative. I love this. Or they might say, you don't even have to pay me. I don't mind helping at all. These people are super busy and being inundated with sales messages all the time. But this really resonates with them because it's in a channel that's not super oversaturated. You're also breaking through the noise by showing trust here, saying this is not a sales message. And we're doing market research around such and such thing. Then once you get them and book the time to sit down and go over the 6 questions, the 6 questions need to surround your problem that you're solving. It doesn't need to be product focused necessarily. Here's the difference of what I mean by that. So you want to keep it more open-ended. For example, again, in my example, I asked questions about to these product leaders saying, tell me about the last time you launched an MVP. What was super frustrating about it? How did that affect you professionally and personally? Have you used any outsourced sales methods? If so, what was your experience? What did you not like about it? If it was done in a perfect world, perfect relationship between sales outsourcing and launching a product, what does that look like for you? So those 6 questions, again, are headed in a direction, but I'm not talking about my solution. I'm just trying to make sure that what I'm thinking through is going to be either validated or they're going to give me enough information that I need to change it, which are both equally valuable. And then from that point on, at the end of it, again, you're going to respect their time and not offer them a sales pitch, but you're going to still say, hey, listen, can I tell you why I'm asking these questions and what I'm thinking about building? Explain it to them. And then say at the end, if it's really, really good fit, you might say, hey, I might be super off here, but do you think that when this is launched, this would be something you would be interested in? Or would you know somebody that this would be a good fit for? This is super, super important because they're going to get really excited about it. They're going to know and trust you after having a conversation. And they're most likely going to tell their friends about it. They're probably going to say, I'm not ready for this yet, but I know somebody who is doing X, Y, and Z thing or has X, Y, and Z problem. And then they're going to refer you over business. That happened with 2 or 3 of the 4 or 5 interviews that I had here, that they talked to other people and told them about my business, which is all super, super helpful. Before you even launch anything, you're getting people to talk about your business. You're validating it. You can also hone in your messaging based off of what they say so that when you reach out to cold prospects, you can say exactly what their problem is because you've heard it from other people. This is just such a really good exercise that ensures that what you're building isn't going to be wasted, or it could be tailored, or how do you refine the messaging? And no one else is really talking about this. And so I wanted to extend this to you to see if you could get the same amount of value that I got out of it as well.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm actually editing the video now after putting the kids down to sleep. And if you saw me at the end, I was looking at my notes because I swore I was missing something, and I was. What I was missing was really helping you understand that this might be $50 to $75 per person. Some people may say, I'll do it for free, just because they like how creative you were or that you're asking for help and you're being genuine. But even in the case that you do this 10, 15 times, and you pay $500, $750, or even close to $1,000, considering how costly it is to acquire a customer or a referral, this is so much cheaper than running ads and A/B testing until you can get it right. So I understand that not everyone can do $500 to $1,000 for a test like this, but if you're seriously launching a startup or a B2B, this is monumentally the most effective, cost-effective way for you to not only ensure that your product's a good fit, but the marketing is honed in on, the product is good, and it's going to be paying customers on the other end, which are well worth the $500 or $1,000 that you'll spend. Last point I'll make here is if you go through it like 5, 7 times and everyone's giving you really the same iterations of answers to those open-ended questions, then I'd say you may not need to do it another 10 or 15 and spend extra capital. If you want to, go for it. You might get some more referrals out of it. But if you're able to get 5 to 7 people who are consistently saying the same problems and giving the same feedback and saying the same thing for what they're wanting, then I'd say you're at a really good place to go ahead and double down with what you're thinking or what they're saying. Thanks, guys.